Welcome to the 2023 Iowa State Fair Parade. I'm Bill Riley, along with my good friend and co-host Charity Nebbe. And Charity, the energy down here in downtown Des Moines is just fantastic, and with good reason. All the folks have lined the parade route in anticipation to the official start of the Iowa State Fair.
Yes, Bill, it is so great to be back with you again for this kickoff to the Iowa State Fair. The parade is going to start in just a moment. And don't worry, if you don't get to watch the whole thing tonight, or if your friends and family are missing out, you can go to iowapbs.org and find the entire Iowa State Fair parade. And of course, when you're there, you can also get access to our 6 nights of fair coverage highlights.
So many ways to keep track of our wonderful coverage of Fair 2023. But I've got an idea. Right now, I think you should settle in, maybe grab a corn dog or a funnel cake. Sounds awful good. But get ready, because we're going to kick this thing off. It's the start to the Iowa State Fair. It's the Iowa State Fair Parade.
Funding for Fair 2023 is brought to you by Friends, the Iowa PBS Foundation, and by...
For more than 110 years, EMC Insurance Companies has served policyholders, independent agents, and local communities, providing insurance products for both business and life. Count on EMC.
My name is Kara Hayden. I'm super passionate about animal welfare. There's a lot of pigs that rely on me to train their caregivers. What we focus on in our training is encouraging our caregivers to understand that what they think and what they do matters.
We are here, Bill and I, waiting to see just the start of the State Fair Parade. It's so exciting out here, such a great crowd. And of course, you know, we're going to the fair bright and early tomorrow morning. What are you most excited about this year, Bill?
Well, as we said in the opening, this is the official kickoff to the Iowa State Fair. It's probably the biggest parade in the state. And gosh, there's thousands of people down here lining the route, and everybody is so excited. Personally, of course, the talent show is near and dear to my heart. The crowning of the Queen is a tradition that is so special to the state of Iowa. Those things are paramount to me. From there, there's a lot of food grazing going on.
Right. Well, you were just saying grab a funnel cake, which feels like a terrible tease, because of course I can't grab a funnel cake yet, Bill. You know that. I can't get a funnel cake until tomorrow.
Charity, you probably can cook those at home, knowing you.
I'm not going to. That's not something that needs to get started. All right, we've got the police escort making their way down, and then of course, back there behind them, you can see those State Fair mascots, Fairfield and Rosetta, leading off the parade.
And Fairfield was the original location for the first Iowa State Fair.
Was that 1854?
I think so. I think you're correct in that.
And it was named Fairfield before the fair was there. That was just coincidental.
Correct. Good point.
We've got our parade marshal coming up, Regina Pirtle. If you ever spend any time up at Pioneer Hall, you'll see Regina Pirtle. She has been there for so many years doing such great work. Up at Pioneer Hall, they put on all those great contests like the fiddle contest, the guitar contest, right? The beard contest.
And my favorite.
Cow chip
Yep,
throwing.
that's it.
Have you done cow chip throwing?
I failed miserably.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm not built for it.
Well, Regina Pirtle is a true treasure. She is wonderful and does wonderful work. And she was telling me recently how becoming the superintendent of Pioneer Hall was kind of an accident for her. It wasn't something she intended to do. She just sort of fell into it. But boy, she has taken that position, made it her own, and done just remarkable work.
Well said. Remarkable young lady, and what an honor to be Grand Marshal of the Iowa State Fair Parade.
So now we've got a whole bunch of
dignitaries coming up.
Dignitaries coming past us. Governor Kim Reynolds,
Yep.
43rd governor of Iowa, serving since 2017.
Also, Lieutenant Governor Adam Gregg.
He's coming along soon.
He's held the office since 2019. What a beautiful day we've got for this wonderful parade.
It really is. The weather is almost not fair-like. It's so perfect. Oh, look at all these Iowa Highway Patrol vehicles. Iowa Highway Patrol vehicles through the years. Some classic looks. This takes me back to the 1970s. That.
I hope in a good way.
I was a child, Bill. It's all good. Look at that. I remember when those were on the road.
Yeah.
I think we've got our eyes on Attorney General Brenna Bird of Iowa. She was just recently elected to Attorney General of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have me thinking about fair food, Bill, and making my list.
Yes. Well, you're the consummate fair food.
I always have to take a look at the new foods.
You're the fair food diva.
I'm excited about, oh, there's Roby Smith.
Current state treasurer.
I'm excited to try the butterbeer ice cream this year. That's on my list.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, but you know, there are the things you have to get every year. You have to get that corn dog, right?
Yes.
You're at the fair enough. You can try everything.
I'm a big fan of watermelon in the morning and a cup of fruit. You know, start off.
Very nice. Start off slow, start off healthy.
Exactly.
Iowa
Mike Nagg,
Secretary of Agriculture.
Yep, Secretary of Ag, going by. Assumed office in 2018, doing a fabulous job.
There's Paul Pate, Secretary of State. And I think we've already got some royalty coming our way here in just a moment.
Dun, 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 dun.
There's Ruth Ann Gaines, Representative Ruth Ann Gaines. Lots of dignitaries here at the beginning. All right, there is the Iowa State Fair Board. Consists of the governor, the Secretary of Agriculture and Land Stewardship, and the president of Iowa State University, plus 2 directors from each of 6 geographic districts, also a secretary, manager, CEO. It's a lot of people that work together. And this is only, of course, a tiny portion of the people that work together to make the Iowa State Fair work every year.
We want to congratulate Jeremy Parsons. He's the new secretary manager of the Iowa State Fair.
Fulfilling a lifelong dream. All right, now we're moving on to royalty. The Iowa State Fair Queen, the 2022 Iowa State Fair Queen, Mary Ann Fox from Mitchell County, daughter of Carl Fox and Carrie McClure.
Had the pleasure of working with her a couple of times. She was at the Corn Dog Kickoff, the annual fundraising, and she's just a delight. She's a tremendous inspiration to so many young ladies across the state.
And of course, there will be a new queen.
Yeah, she's only got 3 more days.
At the Iowa State Fair. So now we've got the queen candidates from all over the state.
Correct. Potential 104 queens from the state. Obviously, some counties have more than one county fair, but typically there's 100 to 102 queens, and they're all spectacular.
They always look like they're having so much fun. And of course, judging is based on personality, attitude, leadership, citizenship, and contribution to their communities. I didn't realize the first queen was crowned in 1964. Beth Hewlett. That doesn't go back as far as I expected it to.
True. And
But it's still quite a long tradition.
and Bill Sr. crowned her.
Did he?
Yep. Yep. I've got some great old photos of Pops with the early Queen pageant.
Nice.
Tremendous tradition out here at the State Fair. Just
Doing
tremendous.
their beautiful royalty waves. Wrist, wrist, elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow, elbow. You can practice that at home. Bill, you've practiced that quite a lot, right?
I'd probably get tennis elbow from over waving.
Absolutely. So now we've got the Iowa State Fair volunteers coming our way. There are so many volunteers that come together to make the Iowa State Fair work. Of course, that is a small number of the hundreds, maybe thousands of volunteers that come together every year. I mean, so many hours volunteering.
Yes.
And of course, you know, they help with absolutely everything. Gate admissions, welcoming fairgoers, scanning admission tickets, hand stamps for re-entry, directions.
Directions alone.
Directions alone.
Well, there's 400 acres
Yeah.
out here,
No.
and if you're not familiar with it, if you're new to the Iowa State Fair, a smiling face and a
Yeah.
gentle point in the right direction makes all the difference in the world.
Well, and I think
so.
there's pretty clearly a hierarchy of volunteers. I think the people who give people rides around the fairgrounds, that's got to be,
Yeah.
you got to work up to that. That's a pretty special level of volunteering.
That's true. You just don't drop in a golf cart.
Right. There's the Blue Ribbon Foundation. And the Blue Ribbon Foundation is a nonprofit organization that helps to raise funds to preserve and improve the Iowa State Fairgrounds. It was founded in 1993, a reaction to a real need, as a lot of these old buildings on the fairgrounds were deteriorating and nobody knew how
Yep.
that was going to get covered. But of
Yeah.
course, everybody loves these buildings, loves the fair, and
Yep.
you can always get a fair square to support the Blue Ribbon Foundation. All right, now we're pumping it up.
Here we
Bill.
go. This is your favorite part.
It's one of my favorite parts. The AT&Co Dance Studio out of Des Moines.
Mission is to teach and inspire a work ethic in their young dancers and have some fun. Nominated for the Metro's Best Dance Studio and Gymnastics Studio. That's quite a nomination.
That is, and that's lots and lots of enthusiastic dancers in the parade tonight. That's great to have that kind of turnout. All right, now we've got the Central Iowa Model A Club, which I just love. Love these cars.
They're our favorite.
Wait, didn't you just say something else was my favorite, Bill?
Well, the dance, yeah, they're all our favorites.
They are.
But I'm a frustrated gearhead, and these old pieces of art just
Oh, they're incredible.
rolling by the
and they've
hours.
been so restored so immaculately.
Yep, absolutely. Just
And-
labor of love. They just keep them going.
Model A in production from 1928 to 1931. And this club was started in 1961 by Bob Darr. So the club's been around. The club is historical as well. It's been around for a good long time.
I didn't know this. 1933, due to the Great Depression, Ford discontinued its plant operations in Des Moines. I was not aware that they had produced some Model A's in Iowa. Of course, Duesenberg was a car company, and there's so many.
Right. Well, the Ford assembly plant was right at 19th and Grand
Amazing.
in Des Moines. That's so interesting to think about. Of course, those Model A's just ran forever. So that
And
was
still are.
Yeah, well, still these are.
Right before your very
You
eyes.
probably don't have one in your garage, but
No.
they just ran. Of course, you had to change the tire every
Yeah.
10 miles or
Yep.
so.
Yep. They didn't have concrete roads. Beautiful stuff.
So, you know, that old plant we were talking about, the Des Moines School District bought the building, and that's where Tech High School is, now Central Campus.
That's amazing.
Isn't that?
Yeah. What a tradition in Iowa. WHO TV, Channel 13, started in 1954. They authorized to telecast on Channel 13. Amazing. Affiliated with the NBC network. And Charity, this may date you a little bit, but early viewers saw local live programming featuring many radio favorites: Slim Hayes, Jack Shelley, Bill Austin, the Buckaroos, and of course the very amazing Herb Plambeck. Romper Room with Miss Nancy, and of course everybody
And now you finally caught up to me. Dwayne Ellett and Floppy. Oh, we all loved the Floppy show.
And Let's Go Bowling with Jim Zabel.
My cousins got to be on the Floppy show. I was so jealous. All right, now I hear the band. The Des Moines East High School Marching Scarlets.
Here they come.
Awesome. Got a little more royalty going past us right now. Oh my goodness, look at those beautiful dresses. Just lovely. I'm gonna put out a personal plea for more marching bands. I feel like during the pandemic, there was an interruption in a lot of the marching bands, and we're not seeing as many. Please come back to the parade or start a new tradition.
And some floats. I want floats.
Yeah, okay, marching bands and floats. Yes, please. The Downtown Neighborhood Association of Des Moines is here. Downtown Neighborhood Association is one of 57 neighborhoods represented within the city of Des Moines, showing their community pride. Wonderful to see them.
Yes.
Some stilt walking. Is that an ice cream?
Oh my goodness.
That's great.
Pull her over.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello.
Bomb pop, please.
You know, I love to see the marching bands. I love it also that so many of them get to wear shorts. That just seems really humane. When I marched in the State Fair Parade, we had to wear our full uniforms, and we had a really long pep talk about how not to faint. So
good to know.
Yeah, there's the Iowa Wolves.
NBA's G League, based here in Des Moines. What great fun. It's really high quality basketball.
Affiliated with the Minnesota Timberwolves, as you just might guess.
Lots of fun. Simpson College, based in
coming up.
Indianola. Named in honor of Bishop Matthew Simpson. It's been called Simpson ever since 1885 down there in Warren County. Got so many friends down in that neck of the woods.
Here's the Iowa District Optimist International. The Iowa District Optimists make it their mission to provide hope and positive vision and bring out the best in kids. Do a lot of fundraising, do a lot of good work.
Makes a difference in people's lives. It's a lot of volunteer work.
some more enthusiasm from Simpson College there.
Even brought their mascot.
Nice. Now.
The Iowa Society Daughters of the American Revolution. It's a nonprofit, non-political charitable organization founded in 1890. Iowa is the home to 42 chapters across the state, has nearly 1,800 members.
That is some impressive bagpiping. Wow. Do you think she's going to bagpipe all the way through the parade?
You got a little ways to go yet.
I hope she gets to breathe every once in a while. That's pretty amazing.
I'd run up, catch the gal that had the ice cream cart if I was her.
So the Daughters of the American Revolution promotes American history throughout the year by honoring historically significant people, places, dates, and events. I think that it's pretty safe to say they're also pretty heavily into cosplay. We've got some awesome costumes out there.
They sure do.
All right, more dancers, the DMI Dance Force.
Award-winning for choreography and costuming, performed at with the Harlem Globetrotters halftime show.
Wow. They've been on contract with the NFL Kansas City Chiefs Junior Cheer Program and have received the Metro's Best of the Best Award for 2021 and 2022. That is a lot of accolades.
What are y'all doing? Sing this song! I need y'all to sing!
Bill, are you going to sing a little Carly Rae Jepsen for us too?
Well, I think we should go out there and do some cartwheels, Charity. Just break things up a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Maybe later.
Maybe just break things.
Oh my gosh, there are so many of them. This is so many dancers.
Yeah, that's bigger than last year.
Love it.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
So important to keep these youngsters busy. Dance is a super way to do it.
And they're future stars of the Bill Riley Talent Show.
Yes, there's
for
probably
sure.
quite a few in there that are going to be out at the stage.
I'd love to know how large their T-shirt order was. That's awesome. That's just so great.
Extensive, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a nice order if you can get it. Oh, they're so beautiful.
All right. Now we've got Dart.
Des Moines Area Regional Transit. And
Such an important part of the fair.
Charity, by far, through the years, this has become the go-to way to get to the fair.
It's the best way. It is the best way to get to the fair.
You can park at Southeast Polk or the Capitol area, hop on a bus, they take you in, drop you off. When you're done, you hop on the bus at the fair.
Right, when you're done and you're completely exhausted and your feet are sore and you're so hot, then you hop on the bus and you sit down and it's air conditioned and they take you almost right to your car. It's the best thing ever.
It is. My wife Bridget swears by it, and I've got, I have tickets to get in and a parking pass, and she's like, no thanks, drop me off at the Capitol, I'll meet you in there. That's how efficient it is.
Nice.
Des Moines Public Schools is Iowa's largest school district in the state, serving over 30,000 students, more than 60 schools throughout the communities.
Welcoming a new superintendent this year, Dr. Ian Roberts.
And of course, Cloris Leachman attended, Academy Award winner.
One of many, many luminaries to graduate from the Des Moines Public Schools.
Bill Bryson.
Bill Bryson is another one.
Thunderbolt Kid, I believe.
Yep.
It?
Among many others.
Yes.
It's back to school time so soon.
Right around the corner.
Teachers are getting their classrooms ready.
In our neighborhood, you probably see the same thing in your neighborhood, Charity. All the moms and dads get down there on the corner and, they get the kids on the bus and everything. The bus takes off and moms are all high-fiving each other. And they get their lives back.
They're just excited for their kids to learn, Bill.
Yes, there was no inference there.
No. Although I see occasionally I'll see parents out for a long walk. I used to, take the kids to school and then you'd see the parents out walking with each other, friends, visiting, catching up. I thought that looks like a really good use of your morning.
Uh-huh. A cup of coffee and go for a stroll.
Over 30,000 students in the Des Moines Public Schools. All right, we've got Yellow Brick Road coming our way.
Early childhood development for kids in the metro area.
Also an essential part of life, good child care.
Exactly.
Oh, it's great to see the crowd having fun out there.
Charity, it's a surprise, but I got you not a diamond. I got you a truck full of diamonds.
A truck full of
Yeah,
diamonds.
It's coming up.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't wait. We've got the Iowa submarine veterans making their way past. The SSN 797 is the 4th U.S. Navy ship to bear Iowa's name, but it's the first submarine to be named after the Hawkeye State.
Yeah, first attack submarine designed to provide privacy and accommodations for female service members as well.
And the submarine was just christened on June 17th, 2023 by Christy Vilsack, who was the former First Lady of Iowa.
Not sure I could do submarine duty. I just, you know.
Well, I admire those who do and have.
Yeah.
So there is a model of the SSN 797. The real one is larger, Bill, so don't panic.
Yeah, that one, I wouldn't even fit in that one.
No. The Iowa Department for the Blind is marching. The Iowa Department of the Blind is the state vocational rehabilitation agency for individuals who are blind or have low vision. And their mission is to empower blind Iowans to live their fullest lives. It's a department that helped my grandfather a great deal.
Wonderful.
Really
yeah, it
changed
helps
his
them
lives.
to become gainfully employed, live independently. Magnificent organization.
We're gonna do a fair flashback, fair flashback now to 1978.
This will be a good one.
Oh, wow. The skyline has changed dramatically since 1978, hasn't it?
I'll say things are a little different.
All right. We have got more awesome dancers coming our way. True Talent Dance, based out of Waterloo. So they made quite the trip up here.
Celebrated their 6th anniversary just last month.
Nice.
Many styles included in their repertoire: hip-hop, majorette, pom, lyrical, and spiritual.
TRUE stands for Talent Revealing Unlimited Excellence. Love this energy. Their mission is to facilitate physical fitness and creative expression, which is nice because you can do both at the same time. All right, we've got Junior Miss Iowa and
Miss
the
Iowa,
Miss Iowa Youth Program.
Yeah. Celebrated their 30th anniversary and will crown the 31st state title holder in July of 2024.
Peyton Yoakum and Lola White. Lovely.
Congratulations.
That's the happiest Domino Pizza delivery kid I've ever seen. I expect a smile like that with my next pizza.
Exactly.
For sure.
Can't beat Bebop Burgers. One of my all-time faves.
Well, we've got a burger, obviously not the Burger King. Let's not get confused, but we've got a Bebop Burger King and a burger.
This is really making me hungry. So the ice cream went by. They didn't stop.
Right. No,
the
these
burgers
guys
are
aren't
going
going to make
by.
a stop either.
They're not stopping.
But, you know, this is, again, it's just,
How about some fries?
it's a good time to start planning what you're going to get at the fair tomorrow.
All right. Well, let's stop worrying about Bill's stomach and talk about Central Iowa Orthodontics.
All right. Because what's more fun than braces? Braces rule.
That's right.
I think getting them off is fun.
Boy, has that come a long way. from-
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Radically,
yeah.
radically better than it once was.
Yes.
Oh, the stories we could tell kids.
Some more dance excitement coming along. Vibes Dance Creations. 70 children dancing at the parade.
They're tossing water on the. It is. It's a little bit warm out there. Working all summer on their performance.
How much fun this must be to be in the parade. Great memories, you know, just to get. I've got socks older than most of those children. They get to be my age, they can remember dancing in the parade.
All right, we had Junior Miss Iowa a few minutes ago. Now we've got Elder Miss Iowa. No, Miss Iowa. Alyssa Godey and Juliana Clark.
Representing Iowa at the Miss America competition in January of this past, coming up in January, 2023, 24, I guess.
Miss America is 100 years old and was one of the first organizations in the United States to offer college scholarships to women. Radical women in college. Who would have thought? I'm so grateful for things like that that have changed. More royalty, a lot of sparkle out there. Rachel Keel. That Miss Blackhawk County. Lovely. We've got a lot of royalty making their way past us right now.
Lots of tiaras.
Yep.
So if you had the account for t-shirts
Right.
and tiaras, you're in.
This is the season for tiaras.
You had a banner year.
There's Miss Scott County. Have you seen it? You've dealt with a lot of the state fair queen candidates over the years. Has there been a fashion trend in tiaras? Do they change over the years, or is that just a pretty classic statement?
I'm going to go with B, the classic statement. I haven't paid attention.
I wonder if they get passed down from queen to queen, princess to princess. If you can't make it to the fair, of course we have you covered with Iowa PBS. For over 50 years, Iowa PBS has been showcasing the best of the Iowa State Fair. You can tune in each night of the week, Monday through Saturday at 9 or 10, to see the fair like you won't see it anywhere else, right here on Iowa PBS. You don't want to miss it.
Central Iowa Tractor Club.
Now, we were talking earlier about those Model A's that were just immaculately restored. Same with these tractors.
Same psychosis.
Same psychosis.
Same issue.
Oh, same skill and care, I think.
Same therapists, the whole thing.
Well, nothing runs like a deer.
I'm a big fan of tractor pulls, and if you go to some of the tractor pulls, they have an antique class, and they actually get some of the old tractors out. They're amazing to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of mind-boggling, the variety. Really.
And the simplicity, but the durability is, it fascinates me. Again, I'm a bit of a gearhead, so this stuff just.
Well, and I know most families, you were a deer family or you were a farmall family, or, you stuck with your kind of tractor. But I grew up in deer country, so it was kind of a surprise to me to grow up and discover there were so many different kinds of tractors.
Well,
you grew up in Blackhawk County, everybody was driving John Deere, trust me.
Charity, you know me as well as anybody. So I'm on stage, Riley Stage, and we're judging or something. There's a low point in the show. So I asked the crowd, how many people are red tractor fans and how many are green? We almost had a little fisticuffs going.
Wow.
I mean, they're serious about their tractor colors.
There's Maggie Rivers, a romance author, friends along with. Lovely. That's so fun. Is that a sunflower? Is she wearing a sunflower costume?
It's beautiful.
Where's your sunflower costume?
Here comes School of Rock, based out of West Des Moines. They have helped so many youngsters.
So, Bill, the concerts are one of the big draws at the State Fair. Who have you seen?
Little Black Sabbath there.
Yeah.
I would default to my all-time favorite would have been Stevie Ray Vaughan. Just first popped into my head. I saw Cream, Vets Auditorium, Janis Joplin. I'm an old guy, so, but I do love the young kids getting back into rock, and School of Rock does a great job with it.
Nice. You saw Johnny Cash too, didn't you?
Oh, it was magical. Charity and I were talking about that before we started. My dad, well, he didn't make me, but talked me into going to see Johnny Cash at the State Fair, and I still remember it. It was magical.
I just have goosebumps thinking about it.
It was just, he had a huge American flag behind him, and he came out, man in black. Man, it was history from there on. I was a huge fan.
Well, and just think of, I don't know, that just feels like essential Americana. Like, there are those artists that have shaped our culture in so many ways, and Johnny Cash is one of those artists.
Yeah,
and you were there.
And the Carter family, I stumbled across on one of the music channels some beautiful old tracks of old country, and it's just what you said, Charity. It's just an amazing part of Americana.
All right, we've got a whole bunch of Volkswagens here. Just having fun.
Love VWs.
Oh, and the vans. Oh my gosh, they keep saying they're bringing back the vans.
The old ones are worth a fortune.
Yeah. Well, anybody who can keep one running is never going to let go of it unless you give them a lot of money.
That's true. Get to know your mechanic. That's the first thing if you buy an older VW.
Oh, I had a friend who had one of the older vans, and he was always working on it, but he was never going to let it go.
They are amazing vehicles. My sister Peg had one, and she let me drive it from time to time, and I proceeded to back it into a pole.
Oh, Bill.
So that's sorry, Peg.
It's a moment I'm sure you'll never forget. It's a visceral feeling.
Yes.
You can put yourself right there in that moment again.
There are some of the buses that you were talking.
Yeah.
And the camper,
The
those
camper
are.
vans are so cool.
It's a 1967. Those are worth. I don't even want to tell you what that's worth.
Well, they're so perfect. Why did we ever let that go? All right, so we're moving from VWs to dune
I
buggies.
think that was called the Thing. That's a modified. That's a dune buggy. Yeah. The Volkswagen. I mean, obviously, it was the people's car. Dates back to Hitler, for gosh sakes. But it's an amazing. It's good old German engineering.
All right, we've got another dance troupe coming our way. Dance Avenue, based in Des Moines. Awesome.
Again, dance coming through. Kids participating in jazz, tap, ballet, lyric, hip hop, and tumbling. Over 85 young people dancing today.
Nice.
Yep. Each year, young women from across the state come together in a showcase of leadership, citizenship, and pageantry, and they're all vying for the coveted crown you won't want to miss, the Iowa State Fair crowning of the new Iowa State Fair Queen. Live stream the coronation with us Saturday night at 7 on YouTube or iowapbs.org/fair. Without a doubt, one of the finest traditions at the Iowa State Fair, crowning of the Queen.
One of the things that kind of boggles my mind about the fair, Bill, of course, is that, you know, it opens tomorrow, but the fairgrounds have been just a hive of activity for days already. And I know I was just talking to somebody who has been competing in the jams and jellies competition. So those have already been judged.
Yep.
And
A lot of people don't realize a lot of these contests have already been judged, and yeah, it's amazing. Every time
you can't fit it all into 11 days.
the term "were it not for the last minute, nothing would get done" applies right now to the Iowa State Fair. It's a buzz of activity out there.
We just saw Crest Services going by. Crest Services provides residential services to individuals with mental and developmental disabilities, people from Cedar Rapids, Harlan, Ottumwa, Sheridan, and Mason City in the parade tonight. That's awesome.
It is beautiful.
One of my favorite parts of the Iowa State Fair has always been witnessing the incredible talent of young Iowans. And, you know, Bill, it seems like the competition gets better and better every year. So I think you've witnessed that firsthand. If you can't make it to the Bill Riley stage, you can watch the 2023 Iowa State Fair Talent Championship on Sunday, August 20th at 8 p.m. right here on Iowa PBS.
And we're so fortunate to have the state network showcase that championship. These youngsters work very hard to get to that level, and it's always a magical show. So make sure you tune in to the Talent Championships.
I'm so impressed with Crest Services recruiting people from all over the state. They have such a big group in the parade. That's so fun.
It's wonderful.
I hope they're sticking around for the fair tomorrow. You know, Bill, I had been going to the Iowa State Fair for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years as an adult before I ever visited the Iowa State Fair campgrounds. I mean, one of my favorite things about the fair is that there's this whole, like, you can go and you can visit, but there are so many people living it. You know, it's a completely different culture.
There is a photo from a drone in the administration building in the board office that shows the campground from the air, and it will take your breath away.
I believe it.
It's way, way bigger than I ever imagined.
Well, and the amount of work that people put in to their specific campsites
Absolutely.
is mind-boggling.
Well, and the staging.
They have more decorative stuff at one of those campsites than I have in my whole home.
Exactly. And you know, some of those campsites have been passed down for generations.
Well, I forget how long the waiting list is, but it's probably longer than I'll be alive.
The next one is a sweet one.
The Iowa Honey Producers. Around since 1912. And of course, you've always got to visit the Iowa Honey Producers at the Iowa State Fair in the Agricultural Building. because
Never miss it.
You need to have the honey lemonade.
Never miss it.
The Iowa Honey Producers help coordinate the interests of beekeepers of Iowa. Did you know that Iowa ranks 16th nationally in honey production?
That doesn't surprise me with all the pollinators opportunities, if that makes any sense, but boy, it's good stuff. I love it. I do a lot of cooking, and if I can substitute honey in there for, if it's calling for some sweetener, it always makes it better, like barbecue sauce, and I love that stuff.
Abby Tollefson, the 2023 Rose Queen from the State Center Rose Festival. The Rose Festival going on since 1957.
Wow. State Center is known as the Rose Capital of the world.
I can still smell the smoke from the Iowa Honey Producers. Oh, all right, now we've got some Corn Patch Clowns. Corn Patch Clowns is a group of people who enjoy clowning in central Iowa.
Uh-huh. Did you know there is a World Clown Association?
I didn't know, but
And you can imagine the mission is all about,
clowning?
you got it.
Fascinating. Very surprising.
Yes.
I mean, I think they're aptly named.
Yes. Just clowning around.
They tell you what they're about.
Our friends from Banker Trust went by. Their Bankers Trust Junior Savers Club. Jeep Outdoor Club of Central Iowa, another nonprofit, gives Jeep enthusiasts an opportunity to participate in numerous outdoor activities, including camping, off-road runs, and Jeep Jamborees.
And we're going to see a lot of Jeeps here. A lot of Jeeps.
They get together and they talk about upgrades.
Yeah. Have you eavesdropped, or are you just guessing?
I had a Jeep for a while. The upgrades are expensive, but they're fun. You can't beat the Jeeps.
When you are out at the fair, please make sure to stop by the Iowa PBS booth in the Varied Industries building, which is, of course, air conditioned, so definitely stop in the Varied Industries building.
Right.
You can walk through our exhibit space to view historical items showcasing our new documentary, Our Great State Fair. It is a 2-hour documentary celebrating the Iowa State Fair. It's so good.
It is. It's
so good.
It's not to be missed. It's just a magical piece of history.
At the booth, you can also check out display items from Find Iowa, our education initiative that encourages Iowans to get out and explore our great state. And while you're there, be sure to pick up an Iowa PBS fan to stay cool at the fair while showing off your love for Iowa PBS. We would love to see you at the booth.
You know, Charity, you were talking about the documentary, and it explores the history of Iowa's biggest celebration. And it just, I thought I knew a lot about the State Fair, but this is just magical. You've got to watch it.
Yeah, I thought, is there anything left to learn about the State Fair? Yes, there is.
In 1896, they staged a collision of 2 steam-powered locomotives in front of real time in front of the grandstand.
So crazy.
Grandstand races included now listen to this one, between a car and an airplane, starring Eddie Rickenbacker, the famous World War I pilot.
And there's footage of that in the documentary.
Yes, right.
I mean, it's one thing to hear it, it is another thing to see it.
Exactly.
It will blow your mind.
Yeah. It's just, and our dear friend Teresa Knight put that thing together, and she has just done a magnificent job.
Honestly, I did think, Bill, I know a lot about the State Fair. Am I going to learn anything new? And I learned so many new things. There's a mural that was painted by the Works Progress Administration, one of the most bizarre stories in the documentary. You've got to watch it.
Truly, and it upset some,
Learning the story upsets me now. I'll tell you that much, because that was incredible artwork.
It was removed, it was destroyed, and it was magnificent.
It was a really, really beautiful mural, and of course so many of those incredible murals painted by the Works Progress Administration in the 1930s still do grace Iowa buildings. My favorite are in the library of Iowa State University, the Parks Library of Iowa State University. But it was 180 feet long, this incredible mural, and it turned out to not be popular with the State Fair Board, and they dismantled it and used the lumber to fix things up around the fairgrounds.
To patch some roofs. Yeah.
Right. Make some benches just a little bit stronger, put some things together.
The documentary also touches on the history of state fairs and exhibitions in general. I mean, it's just,
it's really fascinating.
Times were different back then.
Really well done. Hey, let's do another State Fair flashback. This time, let's go back in time to 1982.
Again, that skyline, it looks a little different.
It does. All those marching bands. Yes, we need more marching bands in the parade again. Salvation Army coming through. The Salvation Army is active in over 133 countries.
Reports to have a worldwide membership of over 1.7 million people.
Wow. And of course, we've got some Shriners there, because what is a parade without some Shriners?
Without the Shriners.
You know, the Shriners go back to 1872.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Today, the Shriner fraternity has nearly 200 temples in several countries, with thousands of clubs, hundreds of thousands of members around the world.
They've got a giant fez on their float. It took me a moment to figure out what it was, but now I think it's very clever.
It's a giant fuzz.
Fez, the hat.
Thank you. Thanks for helping me with that one.
I'm always here to help, Bill.
You know I need a lot of it.
Oh, we got another clown there with the Shriners. You know, I was talking earlier about the, I wonder about the hierarchy of volunteers at the Iowa State Fair, the most coveted positions, the things that you wait years to build up to. I've put in my time, so now I get to do this thing.
Yes.
How does it work with Shriners and driving around in the little carts? Like that's gotta be pretty competitive.
That's some pretty tall cotton you're walking there. I have no idea how you get there.
I certainly, obviously.
I don't think you and I are going to make it.
No. Nope, it's too late for us, Bill. It's too late for us. But these guys,
Yeah.
they're on it.
These guys know what they're doing.
Sean and Kurt. Oh, there's Joe. Although, you know, I was feeling a little jealous, and now I'm feeling a little car sick just watching it, so.
Yeah.
Maybe it's best not to aspire.
Yeah. You were talking about the Iowa PBS booth in the Varied Industries building this year. Alongside the booth, we'll also have 3 mini exhibits around the fairgrounds celebrating our great State Fair documentary. These exhibits are in the Cultural Center atrium, the Jacobson Center lobby, Jacobson building, equestrian building, and on the 2nd floor of the museum. At these exhibits, visitors can see artifacts from the Iowa State Fair, watch clips of the documentary, and pick up a historic walking tour map. If you haven't been to the museum, you have to go.
Go to the museum.
You have to go.
What are you waiting for? The documentary is going to show or air on the air again on the 13th. And it's online. You can watch it online at iowapbs.org, or if you have PBS Passport, you can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got more dancers coming our way.
The Elite School of Dance.
Charlie's Elite School of Dance is based in Waukee, established in 2004. Kids study ballet, tap, jazz, point, hip hop, tumbling, and pomps. Oh, and who's that? That's Iowa PBS. Oh my gosh, a double cartwheel? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. That's why we sit here, Bill.
That's right.
And they're
Was that
out
Abby?
there.
Abby Brown?
Abby did one of the cartwheels, and I'm not sure who was next to her who did the cartwheel too. I'm just very Caroline was there doing a cartwheel.
Show offs.
Oh my gosh, I'm super impressed with both of them. And hey, did we tell you to come visit our booth at the Varied Industries building? Because you should. You absolutely should.
Iowa PBS is bringing you more ways to get involved with our Iowa State Fair coverage. Like us on Facebook for live coverage of the action, and follow us on Twitter for up-to-the-minute updates. We're also on Instagram and Snapchat, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at some extra fair fun. Join the conversation with hashtag Iowa PBS Fair.
Feels like a caucus year. Fair is going to have politicians crawling all over it this year, as usual.
It seems to never stop.
But it's particularly intense in a caucus year. You've got to admit that. And that's one of my favorite parts of the documentary also. Some amazing political moments at the Iowa State Fair over the years. You can catch those in the Our Great State Fair documentary as well.
So being the food diva that you are, have you seen the new pork producers booth out at the fair?
I
Oh my
have
goodness.
not.
Yeah, it's
I'll have to go check it out.
amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, it's a brand new facility, and I mean the amount of pork chops that, I mean, it's thousands a day easily.
Enough for all the politicians who are going to be there? We had the Change Dance Company, Dayton Change Dance Studio, located in Urbandale, went past us. We've got some National American Miss Iowa Queens, young ladies who won their state title in June. They'll be heading to Florida in November to represent Iowa at the National American Miss National Competition and Pageant.
There they are. So pretty. Taylor Strawn.
Impressive. Their tiaras are even more pronounced. So maybe there are styles, maybe there are trends. You just haven't been paying close enough attention, Bill.
So I'm sure Amazon is where you go.
After seeing all these tiaras, I'm thinking about opening up a store myself, actually, because clearly the demand is high.
Yes.
We've got Modern Custom Dreams, a Des Moines Car Club, coming our way. With some pretty slick work done there.
Yeah. The paint job on that.
We know that you love watching the fair on Iowa PBS, and we know that some of you spend so much time at the fairgrounds that you actually miss our nightly coverage. You can watch all the fair fun anytime, anywhere. Check out iowapbs.org/fair. Iowa PBS's Facebook page and YouTube channel and the PBS app on all of your smart devices. And of course, you can tell your out-of-state friends and family that they don't have to miss the Iowa State Fair. The 2023 Iowa State Fair, anytime, anywhere, only with statewide Iowa PBS. And you know, Bill, one of my favorite things at the fair is getting to meet people who are at the Iowa State Fair for the first time because either they've traveled to get there or because they happen to be visiting and a family member or a friend, a loved one has said, you have to go to the Iowa State Fair. And people are like, oh, whatever, it's just a fair. No, it's not just a fair. You haven't seen anything yet.
It's the fair.
It is the fair. I mean, I know some Minnesotans who might want to argue about that, but they're clearly wrong.
Yeah, but we've got 400 acres. That's basically a park, and we were saying hello to the Blue Ribbon Foundation folks that went by. They maintain they raise the funds from a new roof on one of the big barns. They're redoing the sheep barn. That's coming up. The State Fair, Iowa State Fair, it's not the biggest, but it is in the top 5 of state fairs in the country.
And it's the best.
I feel, yeah, it is.
And you're going to qualify that?
I can, but I'll get in trouble. I have family in Arizona, and the Arizona State Fair, let's just say, doesn't quite compare.
How many movies have been made about the Arizona State Fair?
0.
0.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's argument enough right there.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fun, but I think I've heard nothing compares to the Iowa State Fair.
That's a good tagline.
Somewhere.
I might hang on to that one. Iowa PBS will be hosting our own food competition at the Iowa State Fair again this year in support of PBS's The Great American Recipe. This contest will take place on Sunday, August 13th at 12:30 p.m. in the Elwell Family Food Center. Winning recipes will be important to the contestants' family heritage or legacy. Iowa PBS staff will be handing out mini whisks at the judging, so stop by and pick one up. Who you can't get by without a mini whisk.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Pick one up on August 13th. And so here's a good example. The Elwell Family Food Center is a newer addition to the State Fair, and it is a magnificent spot. I mean, it's just cranked up the food side.
And you've got to, when you spend a lot of time at the fair, you've got to learn how to plan your time, and you've got to learn where the air-conditioned oases are.
Good point.
And the Elwell is one of those.
That's right.
Plus, honestly, the line for the bathroom is not particularly long there, and there's a very accessible drinking fountain.
Well, it's going to be now that you...
I am willing to share my secrets.
Now
all right?
that the state of
Okay.
Iowa knows that.
Here's another, this is not a secret, Bill, but I'm going to share it. I just don't think enough people go upstairs at the Varied Industries building.
Great
because
point.
that's where all of the sewing crafts,
quilts.
like the quilts and
Yes.
other sewing crafts are. The stuff up there is remarkable.
It is. And it's just what you were touching on. It's quiet. It's air conditioned.
It is.
Peaceful.
It is. If you are feeling a little overstimulated at the fair,
That's the place to go.
yeah. But also, I mean, you've just got to go see the handiwork. It's just incredible. And I always, you know, there are the people who dominate every competition at the fair, and I always love to kind of keep my eye on it, even if it's not somebody I know, but you see those names pop up over and over
Yes.
again, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
what must that person be like? Their skill is unparalleled. Pretty incredible. So
The quilts are magnificent.
the quilts are amazing. And I also, okay, so I love to spend time in the cultural building too.
Yes. Yeah.
The cultural building.
Yeah, the photography salon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the
It's
artwork is
just
incredible.
fabulous.
The crafts people
Yeah.
who are, I love the wood turners, and you get to see stuff in action, or the people doing ceramics.
And many times you can meet the artist.
yeah. Yeah,
Very
no, I love
up close
the
and
cultural
personal.
center. You've also got to stop by the sand sculpture. You got to go several times during the fair. You stop by the sand sculpture on day one.
Hasn't that
right?
become
Oh, it's so cool.
a fixture? It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're enjoying Tanya Ogden's Dance FX. Ages 3 to 18.
If there is any child in the Des Moines Metro who is not signed up for dance, I'm going to be shocked.
We have some opportunities for you.
That's right. That's awesome.
And the random tiara.
All right. Yes, we do have some tiaras available for you. And we've got, what, National American Miss Iowa Queens? No,
This
I'm
is-
behind. Agriculture, Miss Agriculture. Thank you.
Correct.
Miss Midwest Miss United States Agriculture. It's a national nonprofit queen organization started in 2018. Newcomers to the scene, maybe, but their tiaras are spectacular. The competition's about building confidence, promoting self-esteem, developing public speaking skills, and shaping strong leaders. Mid-Iowa Trail Riders Association coming up. A family-friendly club that's all about riding and socializing with fellow dirt bike, dual sport, adventure motorcycle, and ATV riders. So I think I've shared all my fair secrets, Bill.
Well, the last one was a doozy. I mean, that's... I think you should come up with a map for
Okay.
air-conditioned spots and some discreet logo for privies.
They have signs. Inspiration. Nice.
Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy. That's why the women are energized. I get it now.
Yep. Energized women.
We have all picked out our tried and true snacks that complete our state fair experience, but of course every year we just can't wait to try new fair foods, and this year's list is as delicious as ever. After enjoying all of those delicious new foods, then you gotta head over to the Midway and try to keep them all down. discover how all of the fun games and rides at the fair came to be. You can tune in for those features and more on Monday night's State Fair Highlights program at 9 o'clock, only on statewide Iowa PBS. So new foods and fun on the Midway.
I was talking to some friends a couple of nights ago, and we were all commenting on how the food competition has become quite the deal leading up to
the new fair foods.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, that's partly due to the Elwell Family Food Center. I mean, that has become the home base, and it's fostered all of this wonderful creativity, culinary creativity.
Right. Well, I was talking with one of the vendors, Connie Bozen, and she's the founder of Appalicious and the Salad Bowl.
Yes.
And she won Best New Food a few years ago. And so I asked her what that is like. Like, how do you deal with the popularity of your new item? It was the apple egg rolls.
Yes.
A few years ago. She said it is wild. It is so difficult to keep up. It is a blessing and maybe a little bit of a curse.
I may not be 100% correct in this, but I've been told that if you make, say, the top 10, you have to plan on a certain number of entrees available, and it may be way more than you thought you needed.
Right.
If you make the top 3,
all bets are off.
That number is going to go way up.
Well, there's always fun new things to try. And fun old things to try, because you have to have your favorites too.
You and I have talked about this through the years, Charity. We're both just amazed at the people that line up for the hard-boiled eggs. It's such a beautiful thing.
It is
But
a
you can't
free, nutritious
You can't
treat
beat a
at the fair.
hard-boiled egg, and I mean, they just line up for blocks.
Well, you get your egg. You look at the butter cow.
That's right. Go see the honey.
Right.
Honey producers.
The butter sculptures this year are pretty fun.
Yes.
We've got some incredible athletes through Iowa history, including Jack Trice. Iowa State University is celebrating the centennial of Jack Trice's time at Iowa State this year, unfortunately also marking the centennial of his death. Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, yes.
Is one of the sculptures.
You know, all the accolades that young lady has received, I'm not sure she fully understands what
the
it
power
means.
of butter?
Yes.
She knows.
You make it in butter, you have arrived.
That's right. Your dad was sculpted in butter. Have you ever been sculpted in butter?
I haven't paid my dues.
Oh, Bill.
I don't know if
Does
I'll
it
ever
hurt?
make it. It does hurt.
I'm sorry. I
It's
didn't mean to bring
painful.
up such a difficult subject.
It is. Therapy through the years has helped immensely.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever make it.
I
I don't. I've
My-
let go of that dream. I can't imagine what I could possibly do that would help me reach that level.
My sister-in-law, Karen Riley, when Dad was in butter, from that moment forward, he was Butter Bill. Wasn't Grandpa, it was Butter Bill.
Nice. So it's an honor that just kept on giving.
That's right.
Right? He never quite got over it.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Do you remember the year that they did Governor Terry Branstad and cheese? Remember that?
I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
It's an interesting one.
That's
I
a
think
little
butter
tidbit.
is better. Butter is better
Yes.
for sculpting a person's likeness. What is a parade without a few dogs representing? That's nice.
Love the doggies.
I don't think any of my dogs could be in a parade, Bill. So I admire the patience and fortitude of the few canines that I've seen in this parade. Well done to them. Let's take another look back.
Yeah, this is 1991. This is kind of our era now.
That's
We're
right.
getting up to where we were there.
Well, that was so fun.
That was your high school
Yeah,
band.
that was my high school band. The Cedar Falls High School Marching Band, CF Tigers.
Wow.
I played the flute poorly. We wore our plastic cowboy hats proudly. And our polyester marching suits.
Yow, that sounds hot.
It was hot.
Plastic
it was
and
hot.
polyester.
Yeah, it was a long ride too, you know, from Cedar Falls. That's a couple of hours on the school bus, and then you put on your very hot uniform and you march in the parade, and
Probably
then
no
you
air
ride back.
conditioning.
Oh, of course, no air conditioning on school buses.
Of course not.
Silly. That's ridiculous. Oh, it did. You know, we loved. It was fun. It was fun to march in the parade. It does feel like maybe, you know, we could have spent the night and gone to the fair too.
I
but-
recall one year I was in the parade with Iowa PBS and some of the, you know.
Did you do a cartwheel?
I did not. I was getting close, but what really happened is I was right in front of Clifford, the big red dog,
Yeah.
and I've never recovered because it was like I was invisible.
You just.
And every.
No one could see you.
It
No
was-
one could see you with
no,
Clifford there.
I'm waving at people and they're like looking over my head, and
Has Clifford been carved in butter? Probably.
I don't know. I don't know. He's pretty famous.
He is.
You know,
He
you
is a
can be
very-
too famous to make it into butter. I don't know.
Oh, you think that's the case?
Clifford's a big deal.
Too much of a luminary.
Yeah.
It's enough that every child at the fair wants to have their photo taken with him.
Okay, keep going.
Is there
Yeah,
some Clifford jealousy that you really want to
my
work
pride,
through here?
My pride was crushed.
I'm sure a lot of people want to have their picture taken with you too, Bill.
Hey, if somebody asked me to step onto a scale at the state fair so they could announce my weight over the loudspeaker, I'd probably head the other direction. But the big animals at the fair, they're proud to take home their awards for being heavy. After hanging around with those giants, we're headed to spend some time with thinner friends. We'll take a tour of Little Hands on the Farm, where kids can get hands-on experience of what it's like to be on the farm. We'll showcase these features and so much more during Tuesday's State Fair Highlight program. Tune in at 9 p.m. on Iowa PBS.
So much to see.
Kicks off tomorrow. Again, the parade, the official start to the Great Iowa State Fair.
So, do you spend much time on the rides at the fair? You've been so busy. Now that you're retired from the talent show, you can go to the Midway, right?
Well, yes, but truth be known, I am a massive chicken.
Are you?
I can barely do a Ferris wheel. So I heard you did one of the.
I did. I did one of the. Was it Thrillsville? They're all called. There's Thrillsville and Thrill Zone. Thrill Zone. That's the one because there are lots of thrill.
So is this like
Thrill
one of those
opportunities.
giant rubber band things? that-
No, it wasn't the rubber band thing. It was the giant. Oh goodness! Now I can't even think of what it was called. But you go about 30 feet in the air and then
Hey.
you kind of drop straight down.
Hey.
It was. You know, it was more fun than I thought it was going to be, but I did a lot of screaming. I think I destroyed a microphone with my screaming. I think I broke the lens of the GoPro camera with my.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, it was something. It was something that, you know, a memory I'll always cherish.
Would you do it again?
Would I do it again?
I'd take that as a no.
I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm trying to think of circumstances that would lead me to do it again. But you know, when you're sitting up that high, oh my gosh, the view
Yeah.
is incredible. It's so peaceful there for a moment before you plunge to your death.
Okay, so I'll just go up to Pioneer Hall and up on that hill.
That's a nice view.
That's
That
high
is
enough
a
for
nice
me.
view.
Yeah, I'll just hang out up there.
Absolutely.
Look for you on the screaming ride.
Not this year. I'm taking a year off of screaming rides this year. You know what though? I covered all of the different Thrillville, Thrill Zone, Thrill Town
Yes.
areas for Iowa PBS that year, and that big ride, the biggest thrill, did not make me the sickest.
No?
I was making my way through a lot of rides, and then all of a sudden I said, and we're done. We are done with the rides. This is the end of that. I'm going to sit on this bench for quite a while,
Yes.
and then we'll do some more work.
We'll let my brain stop spinning.
That's right. That's right. My inner ear is going to recalibrate, and we'll see. We've got Loco Dreamers, Car Club, Custom Cars, Low Riders. Some cars dancing their way down the parade route. Car clubs like these are popping up all over Iowa. A lot of creativity, a lot of pride. Oh my goodness. You know, you think about the more bells and whistles a car has, the more things that can go wrong. And then you look at the bells and whistles on those vehicles.
And when you reflect back to the Model Ts that went by,
Right.
and how simple those were and where we're at now.
Fascinating.
Modern cars have so many computers on them. You have to have, the mechanics have to have a computer to talk to the car.
It's true.
The computers will start chit-chatting and
The Central Iowa Fencing Company just went by, and I expected that to be fencing as in the sport. But
Ah.
no, it is a fence building company.
there they are.
Fencing.
That's because you have so much culture.
Is that it?
Yes, you were expecting a proper duel.
And yet I have a fence. That's where my brain should have gone first.
Possibly.
Yeah, you couldn't fence with the stuff they've got on their flatbed there.
Coming up on Wednesday for our State Fair Highlight Show, the Buttercup sculpture is just about on everybody's must-see list. Charity and I were just talking about that. Check out 1,600 pounds of buttery goodness. Then head over to the Cultural Center to experience one of the largest photo exhibits in Iowa, the Photography Salon. My favorite place at the fair.
Oh, the photography salon is so good.
And it's
Yes.
so, again, peaceful, air-conditioned. It's just a wonderful place to just unwind a little bit. If you've had a little too much go with the fair, that's the spot to be. These fair favorites and more are coming up Wednesday, August 16th at 9 p.m. on Iowa PBS. We're so excited to bring the highlight program to you coming up here. 6 nights of in-depth coverage only on Iowa PBS. And I talk to people all year long, and they value that program so much, because even if you're at the State Fair every day,
Oh, you can't see it all.
you can't see it all, and we find the little nooks and crannies
Yeah.
and the personal interest stories. It's a beautiful program, so make sure you tune in. Wednesday night's going to be a good one. 600 pounds of butter.
And recycled butter, no less. That butter sticks around a long,
That's true.
long time.
I'll leave my toaster and my English muffins at home.
I would. The going back to the documentary, Our Great State Fair, and thinking about that photography salon, there's a segment about the artist salon and the competitions, the art competitions that Grant Wood
Back in the day, yes.
dominated for years. I mean, that hardly seems fair.
Yes.
But it, I just love the fact that there's this high culture aspect of the fair, and then we also wanted to see locomotives crash against each other.
Right.
And
Eddie Rickenbacker flying an airplane around the racetrack.
Those disaster attractions are crazy, crazy stories, but I love that there is room for all of it at the Iowa State Fair.
For some reason, I don't think we'll be able to get that cleared, the locomotive crash thing.
No, I don't think we're going back. Although, the demolition derby went on a really, really, really long time.
I love demo derbies. They
Yeah.
still do that at the county fair level.
Nice.
Lots of
Have you
fun.
ever competed in one?
No. Again, that's in the same file as Ferris wheel.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of a big chicken.
It's like bumper cars,
Well,
but
I'll do
with
bumper
consequences.
cars. I'll do. Yeah.
One of the things that fascinated me in Our Great State Fair documentary was Teen Town. And did you experience Teen
It was,
Town?
yes, and
Tell us what it was.
Thanks to my late brother Ed, he was in what they called combos back then, so garage bands now. We just saw the Iowa School of Rock go by earlier. This was an area of the state fair where the antique tractors are parked right now, and it was for teenagers. It was
You
designed.
had to be 13 to 18.
No adults allowed.
No adults.
And
no 12-year-olds.
It was it was a wonderful place. And during the fair, I remember there were little vestibules where colleges would be set up. There were educational pieces available. But it was also the home of the Battle of the Bands, and this was off season. This was not during the fair, and these local bands from all over the state would come in, and they'd perform. They were judged, and then they would move on. They would move on to, I think some of them went on to Dad's television show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was a magical time. It was.
Well, I can just imagine what a really special opportunity for.
First time I heard a Hammond B3 organ. The late George Clinton, the band was Captain Beefheart and the Shipwrecks, and they rolled into Stormy Monday, and I lost my mind.
You were never the same.
That was never the same. That was 6th grade. Teen Town, fabulous memories.
Very cool. Very cool. It would be nice if it were still around, but I guess things change.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Iowa Rock and Roll Music Association up in the Lakes area, Spencer, IRMA, as we call it, they have some youngsters coming to the fair. They're going to be performing at the Knapp stage. I don't know the exact date, so check your program. But I think they start at 9 in the morning. And you'll see some fantastic young musicians.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's that program, that Battle of the Bands, is based off of what we enjoyed when I was a youngster at Teen Town.
And don't you always want to rock out at 9 a.m.?
True. People told me to turn it down when I was in 6th grade. They're still telling me to turn it down.
But you're never gonna listen.
And I'm darn proud of it. I've got more stereos than. We won't go there.
I feel like there's some interesting variety in the fair this year. Some groups I haven't seen before. Sober Soldiers is going by, and they have just a huge presence.
One of the nice things for me personally, but just in general, is for the highlight program, is we're going to introduce you to the new Iowa State Fair Queen. She'll be crowned the first Saturday. I believe it starts at 7 p.m. Check your schedule if you can make it to the State Fair. But after she's crowned, we let her, they have to go home and pack up, and then they return to the fair the next day. And as soon as she's got her schedule cleared up a little bit, I'm going to be able to interview the Iowa State Fair Queen, and it's
nice.
Oh, it's such an honor. It's amazing.
Let's hear from last year's State Fair Queen.
Yes.
Joining us now is 2022 Iowa State Fair Queen, Marianne Fox from Mitchell County. Wrapped up your first year at college at Iowa State. As you reflect and you get ready for the State Fair of 23 to begin, what do you want to do this last couple of days before your reign is over?
Have fun. Honestly, have as much fun as I possibly can. It's been such a great year, and why not have fun these last few days and really cherish these moments as being the State Fair Queen.
What was the moment last year that it hit you that you really were the Fair Queen? Was it an event, or was it that night when they put the crown on your head?
I don't think it has hit me. I really don't think it has hit me. I know last year going to all the events at the State Fair and they would introduce me as the State Fair Queen, I was like, oh, is she behind me? I didn't think it was me. And I think it's starting to settle in now, and especially at my county fair, which was just last week, that I was the Iowa State Fair Queen.
The other gals who are going to try to take your position, what advice do you have for them for these few hours before that ceremony on Saturday night?
Well, at that point, a few hours before the ceremony, everything is already done and finalized, but to still have fun, smile, and soak in all the moments, because even if you don't end up being the State Fair Queen or getting one of the prizes, is that whole week that you just spent here in Des Moines is truly unforgettable. You meet so many friends, and it's an experience of a lifetime that only 100 girls a year get to have.
Marianne, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. See you at the fair.
Thank you to Paul Yeager for that great interview.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Absolutely.
She is wonderful.
Ramsey Mazda of Urbandale. Lots of cars, lots of cars.
Hey,
in this
that looks
parade.
like my wife's car. That
Of course, we've been talking about who becomes the next State Fair queen, but who will bring home the coveted golden toilet seat? That's another important question. You can find out during this year's outhouse raises. Then expert wood turners demonstrate the process of finely crafting wooden objects right at the Iowa State Fair. You can catch these fair features and more on Thursday, August 17th at 9 p.m. right here on statewide Iowa PBS. Have you ever competed in the outhouse races, Bill?
I am so fortunate.
I'm putting together a bucket list here for you.
I can default every time to say I'm doing the talent show. I was too busy. I would do that though. That would be fun.
You know, the outhouse races look like a whole lot of fun, for sure.
It's I believe it was started by my dear friend and past director of special events, Darlene Kretschmar, years ago. And one of my good friends, who's now retired from Iowa PBS, Ricky Fuller, said when we were shooting highlights one time, he just came up with this tagline. He said, "Those folks aren't running to the bathroom, they're running with the bathroom." It's great fun. And again, the highlights, just wonderful. I can't wait to we're gonna start rolling them out. And the amount of people that are on the fairgrounds are production people, videographers, the directors, the personalities. Charity, you do a fabulous job.
Thank you, Bill. You too.
The nooks and crannies again.
Well, it's a really fun way. I feel so privileged to have gotten to be a part of coverage for, I think, 10, 11,
Right.
12 years now. And, you know, you just get to learn about the fair in a completely different way. I will admit that actually I prefer to work at the fair rather than just visiting it, because that gives me license to be nosy. I get to ask any question I want to ask, you know? It's pretty crazy.
Never thought about it that way, but it's well said.
The one year I covered the grilling competition.
Yes.
And so I had to be there, you know, like 7:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna say this wrong, and somebody's gonna get upset, but this is to the best of my recollection. There was a rule that you couldn't arrive before 1 a.m. to start grilling. But everybody got there at 1 a.m. to start grilling to make sure that they could, you know, a lot of people had smokers and they would make everything just perfect.
At 1 a.m.
Yeah, well, you got to get started early. The early bird catches the...
Goodness.
But
catches the brisket.
Right, catches the brisket. Exactly right. We are going to get to know the new CEO of the Iowa State Fair. Next.
Jeremy Parsons is the new CEO of the Iowa State Fair. So does this mean once the fair kicks off, it's official? You're really the guy now?
I guess so. I guess all that planning in advance really has been for nothing. But no, we're excited to get the fair started. And what a beautiful night to kick it off for sure.
You have Iowa roots from Leon. You've been in Northwest Iowa. What's it mean for you when that call came to say you were going to be the CEO?
You know, definitely the honor of a lifetime. You know, the Iowa State Fair is so important to Iowans. And so to be entrusted with this institution is really special, and a place that I've attended since I was a little boy with my parents and grandparents, and now to raise my boys there as well is really just the opportunity of a lifetime.
Now, as the boss, you have things that you can't show favoritism or anything. However, what are a couple things you're looking forward to most in the next 10 days?
You know, I guess it's pretty cliche, but just seeing Iowans enjoy themselves at the Iowa State Fair. You know, everything about Iowa is at the Iowa State Fair, but gonna enjoy a stroll through the Ag Building, looking at the butter cow, eating the egg on a stick. of course, and just all the other traditions of the fair. But I look forward to enjoy those as much as I can. Hopefully not too many fires to put out.
How many times will you go down the slide?
That's a good, probably as many times as my boys will want to. That's probably what's going to happen. But no, you got to do the slide, the sky glider, the old mill, all the favorites as well.
Very good. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Jeremy Parsons
Yep.
was an intern when I started doing the talent search with
Really?
Dad. Yeah, he and Tanya Cook. Tanya's director of special events now. And those two were interns when Dad was doing the talent show.
Oh my gosh.
So
Well,
this would have been 95, 96-ish. So
he has been, I talked to him recently. He's been dreaming of having this job since he was 10 years old.
yeah,
So he started asking a lot of questions, got a lot of access at the Iowa State Fair, and then he managed the Clay County Fair for a long time.
not only managed it, but took it to new levels. And I'll just say it, the Iowa State Fair is in really good hands.
Well, it's exciting to see what the years will bring.
New energy.
It's moving season in Iowa's college towns. I'm surprised they even had any U-Hauls left for the parade.
Some of my worst memories of moving Abigail in and out of Iowa City. Friday night coming up on the highlight program. Many of you may have submitted an entry into the food contest. You probably don't know what goes on into putting on a food competition at the Elwell Food Center. Go behind the scenes as preparations are made, and while the Elwell Center has some crisp and cool air conditioning, it's hot at the fair. And then, one of my favorite, the men and the beard growing contest would never dream of shaving it off. Join us here on Iowa PBS. Find the fair's best beard. These fair features and so much more coming up Friday, August 18th at 9 p.m.
What is your favorite contest to go to in Pioneer Hall?
I have become a massive bluegrass music fan. So fiddling, any mandolin,
Yeah.
that picking up there is
Oh, there's just extraordinary musicianship.
is stellar.
And
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about, I was talking earlier about sort of the high culture and then the not as high culture at the Iowa State Fair. You've got it all in the contests up there at Pioneer Hall, too,
Yeah.
because you've got extraordinary musicians competing against other extraordinary musicians, and then you've got people just dropping in and entering the husband calling contest.
Correct. And our parade marshal, Regina Pirtle,
She makes all of that happen.
She makes it all by magic. So
And
if
hard work.
You go up to Pioneer Hall, you're going to meet Regina Pirtle, our state fair manager.
And we're going to meet her
Right now.
with Paul Yeager.
Regina Pirtle is this year's parade marshal. Regina, when you got the call that said you were the parade marshal, what went through your head?
Oh, I was just very humbled. I was very surprised. I was not quite understanding why me, but I was very, very happy.
You are someone who you spend a lot of time in 1 to 2 areas of the fair. Had you ever even been to the parade?
Oh, I've been to the parade. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we've been to the parade and we've been in it and we've enjoyed it. But now that I'm very involved on the grounds, I'm not able to attend it like I used to. But it's a wonderful parade.
Now, a producer tells me he doesn't know if there's been anybody who's handed out more fair ribbons than you over the last 33 years. You think that's true?
Absolutely, I never thought of it. But yes, we probably have the most contests in one building, one area of anybody. And yes, thank you for sharing that. Yes.
We'll give that to Cameron McCoy. He's the one who came up with that one.
Absolutely. I have something to brag on now.
And what are you looking forward to most each and every year of the fair?
The people, the coming together, it's like a family reunion to me because all of the participants and fairgoers become family. And even people like you with your interviews, you know, you see them year after year, and it's just a joy.
It's always a joy to see you. Congratulations, Regina.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for whoever voted me in. So thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Yeager and Regina Pirtle there. And, you know, I spoke to Regina Pirtle recently, and she had some lovely insight. You know, I was saying earlier, Bill, that I actually prefer to work at the state fair even over just going to the state fair.
Right.
Because it gives you that insider experience. And the way to have that, if you don't have a job that gives you the opportunity to do that, is to enter a contest or multiple contests.
And I have to say, Paul Yeager is trying to butter her up because he does the cow chip throwing contest. I'm not saying he cheats, but
no, you're not saying that.
He's working the angles. That's.
But you know what? Do enter those contests, and Regina,
fun.
you know, has such a fun time with it. I know. Paul Yeager was just mentioning our producer Cameron McCoy. He once went to the tall corn contest and found that there was only one entry in the tall corn contest. I believe they won.
Winner.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? You want there to be multiple entries. And usually, of course, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of entries. But get involved. It is a really fun way to participate in the Iowa State Fair. I also, a few years ago, interviewed a father-daughter duo who they always enter things into the Iowa State Fair. And I learned that grandma in the family does too. You know,
kidding.
This is 3 generations,
Wow.
maybe more, entering items into different competitions at the Iowa State Fair. There is something for absolutely every skill level. And Bill, we are at my favorite part of the parade now. The horses are here.
Yay. Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful horses. I believe this is El Carretero, celebrating Mexican culture here in Iowa. Got some lassoing skills going on there. All right, we can hear the horns. See the beautiful, beautiful horses coming. Some of these horses dance.
It's always a beautiful end to this great state fair parade.
Scaramuza, Quetzali. Group of Iowa women who share their love of horses and promote Mexican heritage through female-driven team horsemanship. Look at those costumes, too. It's just so stunningly beautiful.
Beautifully presented.
And it just represents the diversity of our state. Our diversity makes us stronger, better. It has been such a beautiful night.
It is.
What a
Great
wonderful
kickoff
parade.
to the Iowa State Fair 2023. Charity,
Bill,
it's always
thanks
a
so
thrill to
much.
be on with you.
Yeah, it has been such a pleasure. And again, the end of the parade,
With
the best part.
with a
so
bang.
beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bill. We'll see you at the fair.
Yep, have fun at the fair.
Funding for Fair 2023 is brought to you by Friends, the Iowa PBS Foundation, and by
For more than 110 years, EMC Insurance Companies has served policyholders, independent agents, and local communities, providing insurance products for both business and life. Count on EMC.
My name is Kara Hayden. I'm super passionate about animal welfare. There's a lot of pigs that rely on me to train their caregivers. What we focus on in our training is encouraging our caregivers to understand that what they think and what they do matters.